Hello, I'm Kevin Benedict, Senior Analyst for Digital Transformation at Cognizant, reporting this week from Rome, Italy. We're here in Rome this week, and it occurred to me there's a lot of similarities between the Internet of Things and what I'm learning here about ancient Rome. Before the invention of the Internet of Things was the Roman network of outposts, watchtowers, and forts. Outposts were connected to Rome through roads and again through mountaintop watchtowers and sea routes. The first Roman outposts, matter of fact, were called colonia and were established in 752 BC. This network of outposts consisted of a stunning network of roads, walls, desert forts, and mountain watchtowers that marked Rome's outer limits. At its peak in the 2nd century AD, the empire sent soldiers to patrol the front, and the front stretched from the Irish Sea to the Black Sea and all the way to northern Africa. Let's talk about how that reminds me of the Internet of Things. The Internet of Things, you have a server with all these sensors out in the periphery, all monitoring different signals and wirelessly reporting back to a central server. Why? It gives visibility to those at the central server in what is happening in all the remote areas, whether that be a manufacturing plant, a fleet of vehicles, or even the workforce. And all roads, as we know, lead to Rome and enterprise mobility. The paved roads of ancient Rome represented one of the most significant infrastructure and civil engineering feats in history. They represent a technological and an engineering feat that permitted the Roman Empire to flourish for almost 400 years. Let's talk about what the purpose of the Roman road was. In order for Rome and Italy there to keep control over a vast empire, they needed these stone roads, both stone and dirt roads, so they could efficiently move with speed their armies and their messages, so they could know again what was happening there on the outer peripheries. Roman governments could thus control their territories and populations with an army of only 180,000 legionnaires. Now, let's look at this, 180,000 legionnaires managing 55 million people in the population. It was incredible. There were all kinds of roads. Matter of fact, there were 80,500 kilometers of paved roads, again, which allowed soldiers to go out very quickly whenever the outpost let them know there was problems out there. Now, let's compare that to the high-speed internet. Rome needed a high-speed road network in order to be able to get messages and also to send their soldiers out. That is very similar, again, to the Internet of Things and even mobile apps. So you know what's going on in the field in your remote job sites and other places. Let's talk about some of the benefits of both mobile and high-speed internet and the Internet of Things, and then compare that to ancient Rome. So let's talk about communications, command and control. Messages and orders could be sent quickly in Rome out to these different areas. Messages could come back in, so you had situational awareness in the middle. That's what Rome did. That's also why you have mobile apps, you have mobile devices, and the Internet of Things in remote locations. You have better and faster decision making. Why? You know what's happening. You know what's happening in the mobile workforce, you know what's happening in your plants, all because they're wirelessly connected. It's very efficient. With just a few people, with just 180 legionnaires, 180,000 legionnaires, you can manage vast populations. So much more productive. It saves time. You're doing things with your army. You're able to place them where they're needed quicker. You're able to respond in a much more efficient area. Let's talk about speed. Speed, the Romans had standards. 20 miles, a soldier could walk 20 miles in 5 summer hours. Therefore, they could plan exactly when an army could reach any destination. Now, they eliminated the issue with bad weather and mud and things like that by making stone roads. Stone roads meant they could always get that 20 miles in 5 summer hours, so they could plan on when armies could converge, which we call the swarming effect. That you could swarm armies all to the same destination, and you knew when they were each going to get there based on 20 miles in 5 summer hours as well. Market access. When you have that kind of road, you can get to the market quicker. Very similar to the internet. There's markets that can be clear around the world, but if you have a mobile app and mobile payment system, those things can be ordered, can be viewed, researched, and ordered from afar. There's better logistics and resources planning. You can plan delivery systems, all that, because you know how fast things can move on a stone road. I'm walking along the Tiber River here in Rome. Have you ever pondered the role of standards in mobile commerce? What it takes to actually sell things, transport things, and do it efficiently? In fact, all new Roman cities were laid out according to an orthogonal grid, which really means right angles, so that they would have straight roads and right angles so they could have maximum traffic coming in from warehouses and from marketplaces. It takes a few very specific things to make commerce work for you. Good roads connected the cities, navigatable rivers were extensively used, they built canals, all rationally to make sure the logistics and the distribution was optimized, in addition to water, through the various aqueducts that they built and sewer systems. When we're looking at the internet, you also need things like a rational system. How are mobile payments going to be done? How are mobile payments going to be rationally built and secured? How are marketplaces going to be created online? So you can find products, put them in a shopping cart, add things to shopping carts, pay for them, track them, all of that rational. Those stone Roman roads were really made for human feet with sandals. They weren't made for ox carts. Too bumpy, too slow. The Romans started perfecting the use of ships and seaways, and it became 60 times cheaper to bring the same product to market when it was being brought in by ship. Let's talk about the internet now. In the same way, the internet makes things so much quicker and efficient, especially if we're talking about digital products, digital music, digital books, any of those kinds of things, so much cheaper. Commerce takes security. Why? Nobody wants to invest in products and delivering products, the logistics, the distribution, unless they know they can get a profit. So security is extremely important. If we turn around this way, you can see behind me the Pope's castle. The Pope can't even operate without security. You had to get rid of those pirates. So they had to create ships, they had to create the military and the Navy that would protect the ports, protect the shipping, and it was only when that was available and when you had safe commerce over the seas that you were able to actually utilize the most efficient means to market. Now, let's talk about this in terms of mobile apps. If mobile payments are not safe, it's going to screw things up. If your apps have malware in it, it's going to screw things up. Unless you can find ways of actually conducting secure commerce, just like the Romans, they could not take advantage of that until they first secured the seas. We must all secure the internet and also secure commerce and payments if we're going to make this possible.